Hey everyone, Mango7Rule here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7. Today we're going to talk about gear and the most recent gear changes and why I think they're amazing. And if you don't really understand them, I'm hopefully going to visualize that for you and kind of show you what sort of gear is good now and what has potential versus what didn't before. So for those of you who don't know, again, my bad. This game comes from Summoner's War, and it copied the vast majority of mechanics and gameplay and items from Summoner's War. Summoner's War's upgrading system was slightly different from this. Like, they took Summoner's War, but just kind of altered it a little bit. And unfortunately, they made it worse. They made equipment harder to get, like better gear harder to get. And I always thought it was weird that they did this just because... like, if you're gonna copy a system, just copy a system, you know? Don't make it worse. Which is kind of what they did. And sure enough, they changed it. They reverted it back to almost 100% exactly Summoner's War now. There's only one minor difference from what I can understand. So to give you guys an idea here, or an understanding of how it works, we'll take a look at a white piece of gear. So at every 3 levels of a substat of a piece of gear, you're going to get either a new substat or an increase to that substat. So for example, a white piece of gear starts off with 0 substats. Then at +3, it's going to get the first substat. At +6, it's going to get a new substat. At 9, it's going to get a new substat. And at 12, it's going to get a new substat. That's kind of how it worked before, and that's how you visualize what you got. And another example here, we'll take a look here at... yeah, this one's a perfect example. So before the patch that we got, at +3, we would get a new substat at +3. So it would go under crit chance, we'd get something new. At +6, we would then again get something new. So we would have 4 substats at that point. And then at +9, +12, and +15, 15 being what's different than Summoner's War. In Summoner's War, you didn't get +15 there, but here you do get another substat increase. They would all go into more substats. But that's not how it works now, and that's not the way we're going to see it moving forward. So for example here now, with the way it's working, at +3, we're going to get an increase in one of the 2 base substats. So our first roll is going to be either effectiveness or crit chance. At +6, we're also going to get the same. It's either going to be effectiveness or crit chance again. So that means we can stack up 2 rolls with the base stats we have before we have to see a new substat. So at 3 and 6, we have the already ones we have, and then at 9 and 12, we'll get the new substats. So the reason why this is absolutely fantastic is because it makes specific gear so much easier to get. So I'm not sure if I have any good examples here. I should. Let's see this one here. Where is a good example here? Oh, perfect. So this one is a really good example. This one I upgraded before the patch. So we already have crit damage, attack, and speed. The only other really offensive stat we want on this is crit rate. So by +3 in this before the patch, I ended up with health, which granted was a really good roll. I would obviously prefer anything in attack, crit damage, or speed. So after the patch, if I had upgraded this first, we would have 3 rolls in either attack, crit damage, or speed, allowing us to stack those main stats. And then the 4th roll at 12, we would get the initial stat, which is only 1 roll, so it doesn't really matter too much if it's bad or good. Obviously, you prefer good, but if it's bad, you know, who kind of cares? You've already got that good weapon at that point. It's really, really good for stacking speed as well. I'm pretty sure I had an example somewhere. Here we go. This is a perfect example, too, of how this is absolutely amazing for us. Because speed, if you're not familiar with gear, speed is by far like the #1 stat. Especially for people who want speed. A lot of times they literally don't care about anything but speed. So your piece of gear could have 20 speed and 0 other stats, and you wouldn't care because it has 20 speed. So it is so much easier to get speed rolls now, to the point where you're going to have better luck getting high speed on blue and purple gear than you are on red gear. So for example, this roll here has a 33% chance to roll in speed, and then you can hit that 33% chance 3 times in a row, all of a sudden you've got like 12 speed on your weapon. Compare that to the previous stat. You would first get another substat in, which guarantees cannot roll into speed for the first +3. And then we have a 25% chance 3 more times to get those 3 rolls into speed, as opposed to the 33% 3 times before. That should kind of give you a great idea of why this is awesome. And also, this is especially important for stuff like blue accessories. Do I have any here that have... Oh, yeah. So this one is the perfect example, I would say. This is a blue ring. It started with 4 speed and health. So before the patch, this had potential to be a 12 speed or so attack ring. Instead, it ended up rolling effectiveness and effect resistance and nothing into speed. But before, we had a 50% chance 2 upgrades in a row to cap out that speed, and that's really, really, really the type of gear you're looking for. You can see here too, as well, we have a 50% chance to get speed on this ring. All of a sudden, it has a chance to be one of the best rings you have. You can put this up to 10 speed substat pretty easily. And the other part is you don't have to invest too much, right? Because as I choke over myself, because before you had to bring it to like 9 or 12, all your resources are gone. Now you need to bring it to 3 at like a minimum for gear like that. And oftentimes you can just chuck it out at 3 and try for something else. Okay, the other change they've done is made it so all levels of equipment are the same substat. So this is huge too, especially if you're one of those new players at like rank 40 to 50 to like early 60. This is an absolutely monstrous buff for you. So before, the way substats worked, let's use boots as an example, and let's use speed boots as an example, since I think they're the biggest change. Level 85 speed boots that are gray before were 6 speed. I also believe green were 6 speed. And then blue and purple boots were 7 speed, and then red boots were 8 speed. So in order to figure out how much you get at plus 15, you times it by 5. So plus 6 speed boots at the start were 30, the 7 speed were 35, and the red boots were 40. So like we talked about earlier, speed is the most important stat in the game, and especially for people who need speed, that's all they care about. So people who have white upgraded 85 speed boots, which I didn't do because I didn't think it was worth the loss of speed, now have the same stats as somebody with an epic. So for example, what they're going to do, and this is something they changed, and I do think I'm one of the ones to thank for this. I wish I could show you. Maybe I'll put like a picture of what I said in chat, and then right after they announced this change. But previously they weren't retroactively changing this. So for example, this 85 speed boots would stay at 35, but then they decided to change it. So all 85 boots now are changing to 40 speed. So this is going to be upgraded to 40 speed here. This is going to be upgraded to 60 attack. This is going to be upgraded to 40 speed when it's plus 15. And it's really, 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 really exciting because of that. These won't be upgraded though, just as a FYI, because they're not eye level 45 or 85. Yeah, so that's super exciting. They're retroactively changing it. Same with the accessories here. A good example is this ring. This ring is going to be 60% attack after the patch, which is monstrous. That's a huge, huge boost. Especially for the people that didn't get too lucky with accessories and had to buy all the shop ones, right? That's a huge, huge boost to you. Like 60% defense on this one. This is also going to make stuff like Wyvern easier to tank, because a lot of people are stuck with white accessories, and that 10% attack or 10% HP is no joke. This one as well will be 60% attack when we max it out. So yeah, hopefully this kind of explains a little bit of what's going on and why it's a really good thing. Like, absolutely amazing thing. It will make gearing so much easier in the future. If you were farming Wyvern 11 before, you kind of like threw out the vast majority of your gear, because stuff like this, like while this has potential to be good, it just wasn't worth it. So like I can't waste my resources upgrading this. But now this is going to be a 60% health necklace that has a chance to roll 15% crit chance by +6, and it's worth trying it out just for there. So there's so many different things we can do now, and it's so much better. There are a couple downsides to this. One of which is people like me who have farmed for like 500 leaves, or not 500, like 250 leaves in the last 2 weeks, definitely lost basically all of their leaves because like we threw out so much good equipment. And there's also stuff like raid loot now. Raid loot is, let's find a good example here. Raid loot is eye level 67, which means this is not going to get the 40 speed buff. So all of a sudden, basically every eye level 85 piece is going to have a pretty big advantage over any of the raid pieces, which does make a lot of the intro raid stuff just not so great. So that's kind of unfortunate. Maybe I'll talk to GM Dominial and mention that and make sure they understand the consequences of that. Because as of now, there's not much great loot coming from raid. Like, with getting the base percent is just so much bigger there, and especially with Wyvern now. So yeah, I've been rambling for a little bit. I hope that kind of explained the change. If you have any questions specifically about what to upgrade and why, please let me know. The main thing this is going to help for somebody like me is stuff like left side. Like, a lot of people don't think of left side when they're thinking about this gear choice. But do I have a good example? I don't know if I have a good example here because I just sold all my stuff. Let me see if I can find a decent example. No, I can't. But one of the things I have with left side gear is trying to get as much speed as possible. That's honestly all that matters for a lot of left side gear. So gear like this here, before I just wasn't able to get a decent left side gear. But now if I get a piece of left side 85 blue gear with like 4 speed here and literally anything here, I'm still going to roll it to +6 because you've got that chance of 12 speed substat. And like this one here, it's already 8 speed at +6, and I have one more chance to get another 12 speed or another 4 speed on that. So that's awesome. There's so much variation now, and I'm just so excited because it just means so much, because we now have like a chance to upgrade stuff and a chance to have great luck. And like this one isn't really worth rolling because it's only 2 speed instead of 4, but you get the idea. This would be a really good candidate had the speed rolled a little better. And it's also really good for attack too, right? Like, imagine a +6 attack helm that started with 8% attack. You got a 50% chance to roll attack twice in a row. You could end up with 24% attack at +6. So that's insane to think about. But I'm done rambling or ranting or raving, whatever you want to call it. Thank you so much for everything. If this helped you out, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions or concerns or things you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments below too. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always. Bye!